Bless up, everybody. It's King Kevin. For technical difficulties, unfortunately, for some reason, the YouTube link just won't let me start the show. So we're gonna do it regardless. So thanks for everybody who bear with me, and for everyone, I'm gonna try to put it on the social media to go ahead and just and follow this link instead, since there was an issue. So hopefully you guys, I know everyone's not, technically savvy, so they're not going to get it. But I'm going to place this link on my Facebook. That's funny. What's going on? So I hope you guys having a great day. Use this link. So I hope everybody use this link. So if you follow me, go ahead and share it. Everybody tune in. So I thank you all for joining me on this Sunday. I literally spent like a couple of. I tested everything and all, and but the devil is a liar. You know what I'm saying? Maybe YouTube wanted to block this show from going on, but the bastardization of African American males, and also in the African American males, and also the Black communities around the world. So I hope everybody is can tune in. It's like hundreds of people have the other link, so hopefully they will go and be smart enough to go to my actual page and see everything. So I'm going to go live on Instagram right now as well, and even Instagram is tripping. All kind of people are going. I don't want to see this stuff. What's going on? All right, come on, get out of Instagram. What's going on? Instagram. You must be vertical, 15 seconds long. Okay, so let's go live, baby. All right, Instagram, work with me. Everything just seems to be kind of malfunctioning. All right, so, all right, live. All right, okay, here we go. Boom. Checking connection. All right, we on and popping. So we live on Instagram as well. Change the camera. All right, so everybody's on point. All right, thanks for tuning in. All cameras on deck. I'm sorry for everyone who has that other link because they cannot tune in. So please share this information. This is very important. Now, let's get back to the meat of it. Now, my name is King Kevin Dorival. I am a filmmaker, mentor, and author. So I hope everybody can see me from all angles. You got Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I am so sorry for everybody who's on YouTube that have that YouTube link but can't see this. But if you subscribe to my channel, you will see that I'm live right now. So please inform your friends and family, whoever's in the air, that you check this out. Okay, so I have a lot of information. I'm not gonna keep you guys here long, but this is something that I want you all to just hear me out. I'm not a liberator, not I guess I'm not a self-proclaimed liberator, but I do read books on liberators such as Malcolm X. I'm surprised I don't have his book up here, but I have Dr. Boris Shango, Dr. Amos Wilson, Dr. Francis Cresswell Wilson, Dr. Henry Clark. Several books here. Dr. Amos, I said, who did I forget? Oh, Dr. Diop. How can I forget Dr. Diop? Oh my God. But anyway, so we're going to have a good time, and I wish I really could have the other link working, but I don't know why it just won't work. It worked on the other thing. I tested this morning. So why is it that we have so many black males in prison? And I'm going to go over some stats for you all, because I just, found some information out the other day about the prison population, which are 2.3 million people in prison right now. However, even though black people, we are only 12% of the population back in 2016, were 12% of the population, but yet we are 33% of the prison population as of 2016. Now, why is that? Thanks everybody who checking in. I see y'all on Instagram. But why is it that so many of our people are incarcerated, but we're such a small percent of the population? White people are 64% of the population, but yet they're only 30% of the prison population. 64% of the U.S. population, 30% of the prison population. That's a huge disparity. Now, let's go to the juveniles. You have roughly about 585,000 black males I'm sorry, not black males, but black, you male or females in prison. Yet you have 490,000 white males and females in juvenile system. Once you get in the system, it's very hard to get out of the system. It's very hard to get out of the prison system. Is what I'm actually saying here. Hey, how y'all doing? Thanks for waving at me Instagram. I know people on Facebook. I want to try to wave at everybody. My bad, brother Mark. I'm having some. I tested everything. I tested everything, and it's not working. And so many people have the link. So many people have the link to the YouTube. Hopefully, they subscribe to the channel anyway, and they will see this once it's up and popping. Now, the problem that I have with everything is not just the fact that so many of our young brothers and sisters are in prison, but that they cannot get out. Now, why is it that so many of us are in the juvenile system or in the state federal system, and yet we still have our fathers in prisons, our grandfathers in prison, uncles in prison, aunties and moms and all of that? Why is it that this cycle continues to keep going? What what is it, right? Is it that we just happen to be foolish people by nature? Is our behavior just off the chain? We can't help it. Is it that we just hate ourselves or hate just ourselves as individuals and as a people? Now, the fact remains is that we need to find a solution to this issue, and it's not because we hate each other. It's not because we don't have any sense. This is a created behavior called social learning. I watched a couple of videos, one by Dr. Henry Clark. I'm going to show a few books here, and I know people on Facebook can see the stack of books here. But that's Dr. Henry Clark. If you guys don't know who he is, he wrote this book called Christopher Columbus, African Holocaust, right? I read this a couple of times. It's a pretty good book. A number of variables. Hey, Frankie Robinson, thanks for your input on that. They all come from Charles. We're going to go over a few of them. But we're going to go now. See, what someone may call a variable, actually, it's a symptom. Now, if we continue talking about the symptoms, we will never get to the root of the problem. And that's the problem. We keep talking about the symptoms. Let's get to the root of it. And that's what I'm about to get into. Now, because, I was thinking, right, about, slavery and the prison population and, the amount of single mothers. Like, I'm in Atlanta right now, right? I just moved to Atlanta. Matter of fact, you're in my new office. Everybody around the world, I moved to Atlanta. So those of you who don't know, now you know. I'm from Fort Lauderdale. I always tell people I'm African, right? I'm Haitian, trust me. I love being, matter of fact, see that right there behind me? That's a painting of, I bought this in Haiti at the Citadel. Those don't know who the Citadel is? We'll get into that. But that's a fortress built on top of a mountain. The only castle like it anywhere in the world, built on top of a mountain in Haiti. And it still survived after the earthquakes and the quote unquote supposed earthquakes, was a whole nother subject. You have to watch my video on Haiti about that, which you'll see. But I was thinking, right? Why is it that we seem to continue talking about symptoms? And watching Dr. Amos Wilson's video, I forgot what it's called, but you can find it on YouTube. And he has so many videos, but I'll share the link. He was saying that, not just him, but Dr. Henry Clark, the book I'm holding in my hands right now, this is one of his books. I don't know how many he wrote, but they were saying that this isn't by coincidence. This is actually social learning. Rat psychology is what Dr. Amos Wilson calls it. Dr. Amos Wilson wrote several books. This is one of them. This is one of them called Black on Black Violence, Black Annihilation in Service of White Domination. This book actually changed my life, which I will get into, a little later. So those who can't see the books that I'm pointing in my hands, this is what I'm talking about, right? And now, rats don't belong in cages. That's not their natural habitat. So just following what I'm saying here. The cages is a created environment which they were forced to live in. Now, when they're experimenting on rats, scientists. I have a couple of friends who are scientists. So if Mama Lee, if you're watching this, she's actually a personal friend, and she's a scientist. But what they and also Lakeisha, she's in DC now. So shout out, she watching this as well. When they put the rats inside these cages, the rats learn how to press a button or how to or go off a signal, off a red light or green light, when they can eat or when they can drink or when they can sleep or when they have to continue being on this wheel. The Ferris wheel, whatever you call it, that wheel, they can keep running and running. Now, this wheel, or how to drink the water, how to get their food, this isn't their natural environment, so they have to learn how to adapt. Now, Dr. Ms. Wilson mentions that if a person is placed, let's say in the ghetto, they have to learn how to survive. So if you're in the ghetto and it's tough, you have to be tough in order to survive. Now, hang on with me there. Hey, Patricia, how you doing? We have to learn how to eat. So if we can't find food or pay our bills by legal means, we will turn to illegal means to get something to eat. Now, here's where I'm going with this. If you're in an environment where everything is peaches and cream and all you have time to relax, you make money, go on vacations, buy books, read, invest in yourself, invest in community because your environment is peaceful, right? Now, these are two different situations. Let's call this two different political, social, economic situations. As Black people, generally speaking, because not everybody in the hood is struggling. Trust me, you know what I'm saying? I'm not struggling now, but there was a time when I was struggling. My mom was struggling. We couldn't pay, there was time we had to actually, I talked about this to a pastor yesterday. It was yesterday? Friday, I was at a conference selling my books. These are my books here. I'm going to go to the website, 7 Types of Queen King Desire. This is my second book, and I'm going to plug it in later. But what I'm saying is not everybody's struggling. And so we had to, as kids, we had to steal water from our neighbors. They would have gave it to us, but what we did is we took buckets and actually filled up our buckets with water while our neighbors were at work or maybe they were sleeping. My mom didn't know this, you know what I'm saying? She was too proud to, do any of that. But as kids, we knew we needed to take a bath. So if the water was off, we went and adapted to the situation and got some water. When I was in the 5th grade, Mrs. White, who I talked about in my first book, The Courage to Believe, which is an inspirational autobiography, there was a time where we didn't have any lights. And so the teacher told me to go ahead and, well, this is not what she said, but I'm paraphrasing, but I told her we didn't have any lights. I couldn't do my homework. She said, well, did you have street lights? And I was like, yes, street lights work. And she was like, well, you should have used the street lights to do your homework in that type of situation. So she, at a young age, embedded in my mind, do not make excuses, make it happen. So I had to adapt and to make sure that I was able to study and get my work done when it needed to be done. And to on Look Girl 24, I moved to Atlanta to pursue my dreams. I have a resume, which you probably go to my website, KevinDorival.com. As a matter of fact, I'm going to post my website, a couple of my websites in the chat room. And also, I'm going to give a shout out to Brother Omar. He was trying to log in. I'm having all kinds of technical difficulties because I could not do it. But this is my website. I just put in the chat, so hopefully you guys see it. You have two of them, 7queens7kings.com and KevinDorival.com. Both of these websites will explain, show you who I am and what I do and why I'm going to be financially rich and why I need to be financially rich and why we all need to collectively put our money together. But back to what I'm saying, we are forced, and whenever I'm saying we, I'm generally speaking as Black people, we are forced to find a way to survive. And so a lot of our young brothers and sisters and adults are going to illegal means to find a way to survive. It's not that we are inherently evil or criminal. This is a set up behavior. If they can predict, if the system, white supremacy, can predict or place us in a situation to where they can't predict our behavior, then they can predict our future. So instead of us writing our futures, the system is writing our futures. You see, we're giving, and been going on for a very long time, we've been given the system, white supremacy. We've been given the white man, white woman, those who are involved in slavery, even today, even their great-great-grandchildren who are here today, CEOs, owning houses, owning businesses, owning lands, stocks, bonds, whatever the case may be. NFL, NBA, a lot of these companies, organizations have roots deeply involved in the slave trade, which reverberated, well, you can still feel the reverberations today in 2018, because they are still the power relationships between who we are in our situation is still impacted by what happened 400 or 500 years ago. As a matter of fact, even though we are doctors, lawyers, teachers, own homes, CEOs, owning mega businesses, Fortune 500s, that's just a small portion of the population. The power relationship is still the same from the 1800s, early 1900s to today. Because even during slavery times, there was a lot of skilled black workers, male and females. A lot of skilled workers who built the roads, who built the homes, built the White House, another one, and all these other things. They, that situation is still today. They were successful black people back in the day, and there are still successful black people now. But don't get it twisted. When you look at the big picture, we are still economically deprived as a people. I kid you not, right now, what time is it right now? Eastern Standard Time. It's 2:30 right now, right? I could easily just, go about my business and just relax this Sunday and chill and enjoy the day like everybody else. Matter of fact, there's a pool party right now. I was invited to 2 pool parties, as a matter of fact, in Atlanta, and also a networking event. But I chose to spend my time to invest in you all so you can hear what I'm saying. And maybe some of you are receptive to what I'm saying, and you can support by sharing this video, or you can, support what I have going on so I can help and support my community. That's what it's about. You see, the system has us thinking as individuals. Now, divide and conquer. I know you all heard of that before, right? Hey, how y'all doing? Tribal organization, bless up. Ask your questions. I'm asking questions on YouTube, so I have a few people giving me questions here. Frankie Robeson, on Look Girl 24. Thank you. Quite a few people on Instagram. I'm taking some time to give y'all a shout out. Thanks for spending your time with me. Alicia, Christiana, Luia, you are the God movement, tribal unity. You are coming in clear now. I appreciate it, brother. Herman, what's going on, big brother? Kelson, Lati, Black and Educated, everything. Okay, so quite a few people are tuned in, so thank you. Facebook, the same thing. Love y'all. Where was I again? Where was I? You're saying all of this, but yeah, the individual thing, the system, the educational system, we are being miseducated, which Brother Amar from Tribal Unity Organization, I'm going to share his not YouTube, but his Facebook pages. He has a Synergetic and also Tribal Unity Organization. Good brother from New Jersey. I met him in Florida. We were both mentors with a great mentor group, New Game Movement, working with young men. And now we both went our own ways, but we still are working towards community. So on YouTube, you will see. Please go and like his page, the pages, and tune in tomorrow. He has a miseducation of our people show going on tomorrow at 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So if you like those pages that I just posted, or even on Facebook, I'm going to put it on Facebook as well. For those who are checking me out on Facebook, you will see that that's pretty cool to see myself on Facebook. That the links. Please like my brother and everything. Support. He's a good dude. Real recognized real, king to king. Now, the system has us thinking that we are all we got as individuals, but as a community, we do not exist. There is no power. As a matter of fact, there is no power if we are not a community. And like a fist, A fist, you can slap somebody, which, you know what I'm saying? The slap will hurt, right? But if we all were to do like this and become a unit, we can punch a mighty blow. And that's what is lacking, because we are doing individual things. Our energy is being dispersed all kinds of ways. But then we cannot help our brothers and sisters overcome little things, because we're not investing in them as a group. It takes a village to raise a child, which is a good African proverb, or even a Sankofa. You must return back to where one has gone so that you can help others move forward. This reminds me of Kuji Chagalia, which is a Kwanzaa. You know what I'm saying? It's a Kwanzaa phrase or principle. There's several principles in Kwanzaa. That is the African-centered holiday that we all need to be celebrating, because we spend so much time celebrating these European holidays, which is causing us to even be more divided and more confused, which I'm going to get into, by the way, in regards to religion. But the more that we continue celebrating these European holidays, the more we will be separated. I want to move this Facebook thing here so you guys can see where I'm going here on Facebook. Okay, so all right, Facebook, we here, baby. We here, so y'all get a better picture of what's going on. This is pretty cool. All right, we live, baby, we live. Now, let's move on here. Experiences. If we constantly continue to have negative experiences, right? Dr. Amos Wilson, who I just mentioned, he also has a book called A Blueprint to Black Power. This book here is a huge book. I read several chapters of it. It's A Blueprint to Black Power, and it's intimidating. He would even say that it's intimidating to actually look at, to read. But once you read it, he breaks down the essence of power. Now, when you're constantly having negative experiences in life, when you're constantly failing, when you're constantly doubting yourself, you know what's happening to you as an individual? You are going to lose your confidence. And once a person that has lost their confidence can very well lose their faith. And once you lose faith in your God-given abilities, when you lose faith in yourself and others, you become a dangerous person, and you become someone who you're not even yourself anymore. Now you're just living to survive. We have to move from living to survive to live to thrive, and that is what Dr. Amos Wilson talks about in this book and actually all of his lectures. We are so caught up in talking about things that are unnecessary and doesn't give us any kind of strength at all. Yes, we can pray. I pray all the time. Yes, we can shout hallelujah. We can give all the high fives and hugs we want. But at the end of the day, you have to have the will in yourself and the faith in your God-given abilities. Because God didn't place us on earth, to be doormats. As Black people, we are the creators. And I said this in another video. We are the innovators. We are the ones that started everything. From Kemet, which is ancient Egypt, Kush, ancient Ethiopia, so all the way to the west side, the Benin, which is today Dahomey, which is connected to Nigeria, or even down to the south, Central Africa, the Congo, South Africa, the Zulu tribe, and the regions that Queen Azinga was ruling. So we have a great history, but we do not know it, and therefore, if we are separated from our history, we are separated from our future, because we have no idea what we're doing in the present. That's why history is so important, and that's why this video is so important. So I'm glad you guys are tuning in. Our environments, the environment that we live in, we are our environment. We create our environment. So what we do in our environment is actually what creates our world. What you think, what you speak, creates your environment. We have 300 billion brain cells. I'm going to always do this. I'm going to always do this in every lecture, every video, because the mind is a very terrible thing to waste. And the system understands that. If they constantly feeding us this rubberish about Christopher Columbus, by George Washington, they had this article that came out, I think it was this month or last month. I seen it when I was in Buckhead, shopping at Publix, and there was this thing to honor Thomas Jefferson, George Washington, and one of these other presidents. All three of these presidents, all three of them, they want us to honor. in America, which you got to give them some credit. They did some work. These men were very evil men. Even the most evilest people have something good about them. You know what I mean? But these guys were evil men, and they want us to cherish and honor them because they inundate us with so much foolishness and bullshit that we are becoming less and less interested in becoming African. And the more that they inundate us with this false history, the less strength we have or less interest we have in ourselves. So we have even to work in like I mentioned earlier that during the slave trade or during the times of the plantation days, which I'll call it, they were very successful black people. There was a show called Runaway, and you notice that one guy was able to earn enough money to buy his freedom, but the slave master wouldn't give it to him, even though he saved every penny. He didn't spend a dime. This dude had a jar this big filled with coins, which were dollars and $2 in value, but it was hundreds of dollars to buy his freedom. And he couldn't get it. But his trade, his skilled laborers were a big problem to white supremacy. You follow what I'm saying? And with that being said, if you cannot buy your freedom, then what's the point, right? What's the point of living if you can't be free? That's why so many of our brothers and sisters jumped off the ships. That's why so many of our brothers and sisters literally committed suicide or killed their babies. Even in that show I just mentioned, Runaway, the young lady, she killed her baby. You know what I'm saying? She killed her baby because she did not want her baby to be born or to be raised in such an environment. Your environment creates who you are mentally. So you have to have an environment conducive for success. Now, I spent enough time talking about the problems. Now let's get to the solutions. Now, what are we going to do as black people? What are we going to do about the self-hatred? Here's one. And I want to give a shout out to Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, who wrote this book, ISIS Papers. And by the way, this is autographed. For those of you who can see that, she autographed it back in 91 to someone, not to me, but I wasn't here in 91, I was only 11. But this is autographed for those of you who can't see the ISIS Papers. So this is one of my most prized books. And what I want to say about what we're going to do is, when you are, and Dr. Amos Wilson and Dr. Frances Cress Welsing are two licensed psychologists. Rest in peace to them both and rest in power. Blessed up to the ancestors. When we are born, right, as young people, now some of the things that we are learning 3rd or 4th grade, we should be learning them as soon as we can speak or start even trying to speak as young kids. That's how important education is. You don't wait till your child is 5, 6 years old to try to teach them how to read. You start speaking words and reading things to them at a very early age to start developing the mechanics in the brain. You follow what I'm saying? So the system is purposely not, purposely miseducating our children by not teaching them how to read at a very early age. As a matter of fact, right now in South Florida, I don't know what it is in Atlanta or throughout Georgia, but in Florida, specifically South Florida, Broward County, Palm Beach, Miami-Dade County, shout out to you, anybody who's listening. There are so many F schools or schools where the children are not reading at their grade levels. And what happens is that the system, which is so smart, I mean, you got to give it up to white supremacy. They are brilliant. You know what I'm saying? They have been doing a great job in bamboozling us. But as today, we're going to change that. As a matter of fact, people like Dr. Boris Shango, Dr. Fritz Wilson, Dr. Henry Clark, Dr. Diop, Dr. Ivan Van Sertima, and the list goes on and on. They planted the seeds so that we can move forward. Brother Malcolm X, Honorable Marcus Garvey. It's vitally important that we actually start investing in our children very, very early. And it's critical because our children are caught up so much on social media today that they see reading a book in their hands, even if you read on a tablet. Tablets, I'm not knocking nobody who read books on tablets or cell phones or on the computers, but it's vitally important to actually pick up a real book. Why? Because you have to get your eyes away from the screens. These screens, I have like 3 screens, on me right now, right? But these screens, they are doing something to our brains and to our eyes, to where we are becoming dull and insensitive because we spend so much time on the internet and social media. We are being separated from the real world. Now, if we want to do something about it, put a book in your child's hands. Young boys and young men, black men, and I'm going to go over some stats with you guys in a little bit. Black men see reading as a feminine activity. They see only females read books. Where that come from? There's no way that actual reading is a feminine thing. It's a very manly thing to pick up a book and read. As you see behind me are several books. These are like most of my books. I got another bookcase right here and another one in my living room. I'm surrounded with books. Growing up as a child, I always knew if I want to be successful, I gotta read books. I have to read in order to escape poverty. Poverty was the biggest fear for me. I didn't fear. It's funny that I'm talking about this. I didn't fear being shot. I didn't fear being stabbed. I didn't fear being or starvation. I feared being poor. I feared poverty because that is because I seen it. I experienced and seen people get shot and killed with my own eyes. So those things, unfortunately, I became numb to them. The only thing I fear now is myself, because I don't know how far I will go to help save my people and also to achieve the success that I'm seeking. To me personally, success, the most ultimate success, is to be married and to have children. That's success to me. To be happily married with beautiful children, that's the pinnacle. That's the apex, of success to me. But our children, our young boys and girls, they don't see having a family as success. They see having Jordans as the meaning of success, having a Mercedes-Benz as the pinnacle of success. They see just all these materialistic things that separates us from actually a relationship with God, the Creator. Now, when people are saying God, let me rewind for a second. When people are saying God, it doesn't always mean they're talking about the Most High God, the Creator. And by the way, God is a feminine and masculine principle. So you will rarely, if ever, hear me address God as He. But I know it is, it's custom and amongst Catholics, it's customs amongst Muslims, custom amongst Christians, but that is not how it was with our people. There's a difference between historical Jesus and the mythological Jesus. We've been taught about the mythological Jesus, which is another subject. But I just want you guys to pay attention to what I'm saying and not be too thrown off, okay? If our people in the environments that they're in have goals that are unachievable, right? Unachievable goals. That means that they're gonna have there's a word for it. Inferior complex. They're gonna build a sense of inferiority, meaning that they will not believe in themselves that they can actually live a life of legal means. They have to go out and get it by any means necessary, which is unfortunate. So when you have that inferior mindset, that inferiority kicks in, now you're going to go rob. You're going to go kill. You're going to go prostitute. I cannot tell you as a single man how many women I have met, whether it's through social media, whether in person, at clubs, will actually try to sell their bodies to me. I'm just trying to talk to you as a sister, as a queen, because the queen that you are. But to find out, they want to sell. They want me to pay them to have sex with them, even though sex not even in the subject that I'm talking about. They off top, they just that's how they make their living. This is unfortunate, and that is part of the reason why I wrote the book, The Courage to Believe, and 7 Types of Queens, because people need to wake up. It's unfortunate that our sisters have to sell their bodies. They think they have to sell their bodies to make a living, to be successful. That's not where it's at. So we have a consciousness that has been dumbed down by the BS of the system, and we need to do something about it, like right now. How do we do that? One, start loving yourself. Start showing love, and being someone that isn't so offended by everything. How do you do that? Step away from those phones for one. That social media is killing us. Because if we constantly are going the directions that the system is setting us towards, which is to be mundane, complacent with just having a phone, having a job, and eating, we will never thrive. We need to get beyond that. We need to get more in touch with our spirituality. You feel what I'm saying? So instead of being a thief or a prostitute, maybe you can be a mentor. You can be an author. You can be a filmmaker. You can be whatever you want to be in this world. It's what you program your mind to do. So if you're in an environment that is negative, get yourself out of it. This room that I'm in, this is a very positive room. What are other positive places that you can go to? Mr. Frankie Robinson said, as Dr. Mr. Farrakhan says, the key to building a stronger nation is through strengthening our families. Exactly. If the less families we have, the worse conditions will be. We have to get in a position where I pray, want to build a family, not just be, whoremongers, sleeping around and not building an actual relationship with someone. This is vital if we're going to survive, because it's predicted in the future that there ain't going to be a black community the way we're going. It's going to be mixed, completely mixed. I don't have no problem with mixed relationships. Let's get that clear. If you find love with a white person, that's your business. It's your world, your life. You pay your bills and where you at. But if you're trying to strengthen the black community, you got to marry a black king or queen. That's what it is. Brother Nate Parker, who did that movie, Birth of a Nation, great movie, inspired a lot of people, but he's married to a white woman. You know what I'm saying? So we have to get to the essence of power here. Power is black on black love, bottom line. And so the more they got us fighting each other and thinking that, that they can define everything that we say. Have you ever defined the word black? Have you ever defined the word black in the dictionaries? Back in the day, it was very racist. But let me say this right quick. The word black. I'm going to type this in, and then I'm going to compare it with the word white. All right, black. Wow. Here are a few things. Being characterized or morbid or grimly serratic humor, black comedy, marked by anger or sullenness, attended with disaster, deserving of incurring sincere or dishonor, wearing clothing of the darkest visual hue, appearing to be eminent from a source or other than actual point of origin, used chiefly of intelligence operations like black propaganda, black radio transmissions. Then you got blackballed. So the word black has always been, used in a negative sense. That's how they define the word black, right? Now let's look at white. What does white mean? I'm gonna give you guys a powerful definition, because when you speak it, every time I do a lecture, I don't care if it's a small thing or a big thing. I always use this thing called SBE. So if you follow me, or I haven't used it in a book yet, have I did it in Seven Queens? This is a good question. I don't know if I wrote that in Seven Queens. But SBE, which is speak it, believe it, execute the plans, right? What am I speaking? I'm speaking my dreams, my goals, what I want to accomplish. Even if it doesn't seem as possible. But as I'm speaking it, I eventually begin to believe it. Even though I may not have the financial means, I may not have the resources, and may not be the location to make it happen, but I believe that I can do it because I'm speaking it. I'm speaking something to the universe. That's what words do. Words are very powerful. For hundreds of years, white supremacy has been able to control our words, and not just the words that we read, but the words that are spoken into us, into our spirits. Words are vitally important. Even in the Bible, the first book, right, which is Genesis. We all know the first book in the Bible, Genesis. God gave Adam the power to define his world. Now, correlate that what's going on today. Are you defining your world? Think about that. Are you defining your world? Adam had the whether you believe in the Bible or not, this is an interesting conversation. He was able to name the birds, the trees, the fish in the ocean. He was able to define those things. That's how powerful words are. It's like, I think one of the first lessons in the Bible is the power of definition. And as long as we continue allowing the system to define our words, then we will always be slaves. A lot of people got mad at Kanye West for saying that we chose to be slaves. Now, I think he was far-fetched by saying that, but he did have a point, and something similar to what Harriet Tubman has said. She said, I could have saved thousands of more people. I could have saved a lot more people, but I could not because they did not know that they were slaves. We don't know we're slaves right now. Many of you don't know that you are. I'm not a slave. I understand the power of my words. I understand that I can speak blessings or I can speak curses. So the question is, what are you speaking to yourself and to your world? Think about that. What are we actually speaking? Are we speaking success? Are we speaking family? Are we speaking love? Are we speaking business, investments? Are we speaking community things? What are we actually speaking? And so we got to do that. We have to speak those blessings in our life. You know, you guys just gave me an idea. For those who were trying to catch on, I just realized something that I could have done a long time ago. Okay, tune in here. I could have set this link so people could tune in, but you know, you never know. So, not everybody's that sharp, you know what I'm saying? But we're gonna get you sharp. Iron sharp as iron. Now, back to the whole family thing and being that whole community thing. I mean, back in the day, you couldn't be a king if you didn't have a queen in ancient times. You had to have a matter of fact, you couldn't even be a king if a queen did not crown you to be a king. You had to be crowned a king. You follow what I'm saying? You had a god. How could you be a god without a goddess? So we had that equal balance thing. Now we so completely unbalanced. Majority of the homes, some stats say 65, 70% of black homes are ran by women and women only. There is no man in the house. And if there's a man in the house, he's just there to get it and get out. You follow what I'm saying? That's backwardness. That's why so many of our children are becoming bastards. Bastards mean fatherless homes. I grew up as a bastard. I don't like the phrase, you know, but that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. So we need to get control of our definition, our lives, our environment, so that we can make a change for the better. And we have to read books. Oh, definitely. We definitely got to read books. I appreciate Brother Frankie riding with me on this YouTube. I ain't going to lie to you. A shout out to you, brother. As a matter of fact, if you inbox me your information, I'll send you a free copy of one of my books. So, hey, which one you want? 7 Queens, A King's Desire, or The Courage to Believe? You know, so go to KevinDorival.com. Send me a message. Don't do it through the YouTube because once this video's over, it's over. But if you send me a message, email me. I got you. So we have to get back into that. You know what I'm saying? Because seriously, don't y'all want to be happily married or at least have a companion that you can build with? Imagine what kind of economic power that is. That's instead of dividing, we need to get more closer. We gotta find somebody. If we're not going to unite with someone, at least support a married couple. You know what I'm saying? At least do that. Because we got to find a way to reverse what they're doing. Because the school to prison pipeline is serious. You follow what I'm saying? 1 out of every 15 black males either in prison or on their way to prison. 1 out of every 15. Now it's 1 out of every 106 white males. So you got 1 out of every 15 black males and 1 out of every 106 white males in prison. Look at that disparity there. Black women. 1 out of every 19 black women are in prison or on their way to prison. And out of white women, 1 out of every 118. 1 out of every 19, 1 out of every 118. Are you serious? This is a problem, y'all. We are literally in the new Jim Crow. Like Michelle Alexander said in her book so eloquently. This is a must-read book for anybody who's interested in the topics that I'm saying. This book here, I vouch for it. One day I'm going to work with her on my Black on Black Crime Solutions panel. So anybody who knows Michelle Alexander, tell her King Kevin has reached out to her and will continue to reach out to her. One day we will host our annual Black on Black Crime Solutions panel. As a matter of fact, we're going to change the title to Black on Black Violence Solutions panel. So I'm going to change it because the crime makes it more political, and some people have their own views politically. But God has placed in my spirit, change the name from crime to violence. Therefore, they can't tie it to no political thing. the violence is just whatever. And so this book talks about how the laws has changed so that they can incarcerate more of us. They make us thieves and they hate us for being thieves and lock us up for the thieves that they made us to be. You follow what I'm saying? That's the whole social learning that they're doing and has created. Now, neo-colonialism, that's what's going on right now. We are in a state of emergency and we don't know it. We see him barbecuing, enjoying 4th of July. As a matter of fact, the first 4th of July, and for a long time, our people were slaves while we were celebrating liberation or the freedom of America and whatever, the Independence Day. We were enslaved. Whether you was in Haiti, whether you was in Jamaica, whether you was throughout the United States, we were enslaved during these holidays. And we're celebrating our defeat. Like Dr. Borcheng always say, only black people celebrate their defeats. Why? Because we've been conditioned to do so. Do you even know what Christmas means? Do you even know Christmas started with sacrificing of children? It started as a satanic holiday and ritual. But we're celebrating the Christmas, even though that's not why we're doing it. But we don't, a lot of us didn't know that. I didn't know this until 3-4 years ago. Once I found that out, because everybody know King Kevin loved the kids, I stopped celebrating Christmas before I became awakened. People ask me, am I Christian? No, I'm not a Christian. I used to be, but I am a born-again African spiritualist, meaning that I have my right mind. I know who I am. I know where my people come from and what they represent and what I represent, because I stand on their shoulders. This subject that I'm talking about, whether it's Halloween, which we won't even get into that, but the whole Christmas thing, Christmas didn't become legal in the United States until, if I'm not mistaken, the early or late 1800s, because they even banned Christmas, because not only were they sacrificing children to some kind of demonic, some demon or whatever it was, whatever the name was, they were also having orgies out in the woods, and it was all kind of craziness going on. So they outlawed it. Google what I'm saying, research it. Don't take my word for it, research it. But we celebrating these European Thanksgiving. We celebrating that too. That's slaughtering the Native Americans, the indigenous red men, if you want to call them that. But that's what the white folks were doing. They slaughtered these people. And there was, as a matter of fact, the name Thanksgiving was giving thanks to every time they slaughtered a village. That's where it comes from. So if we're going to actually get back to our right minds, we need to stop shedding everything that is African. So stop that. We need to start infusing ourselves with everything African, with African books, African history, eating African food. When I say African, I'm talking about just, black, whether I can't say eat black, because then, a lot of the stuff that we eat today come from a slave diet anyway, if you want to be real about it. So we got to be real with ourselves and understand that this system was not built for us to win. This system was built for us to lose. In order for us to win as a people, I'm not saying that we got to go to war against, every white person, because some white people cool as hell. I mean, let's say cool as hell. I'm trying not to use the word hell. Cool as hell. Some people, like, one of my father figures growing up was a white guy that I worked for. Rest in peace, Michael Finn. He knew that me and other employees who worked there, we were, fatherless children. We didn't have any fathers in our homes. Some of us were slanging dope. Some of us cocaine, weed, robbing, and working for him. I was doing any of that at the time, but all those things I just mentioned, I ended up doing all those things. That's why I spent 10 months in jail. And at that time, that's when God revealed to me, and I understood why I had to go through the system. It's because I had to see what was going on behind the enemy lines, And Europeans have been able to colonize our history, colonize our people, colonize our minds. We need to free ourselves of this, or we're going to continue to suffer as a people. Yes, some of us are very successful, driving businesses and big houses, which is cool. But we cannot just keep going forward and leaving our people behind. Remember that principle of Sankofa I mentioned earlier, meaning you have to go back to help those from where you have come. You follow what I'm saying? And so let me go over a few other things I wanted to say. Yes, I almost forgot this. You cannot colonize a people that have their right minds. You can't do it. So when we watch the media, when we watch what they're doing with the commercials or social media or newspapers, and how they try to, promote, homosexuality. I mean, it's crazy here in Atlanta. I mean, it's a lot of women here, but it's a whole lot of gays and homosexuals here. I don't have a problem with people who that's their world, that's what they get into, but I have nothing to do with that. But even children, it's not even safe or even mentally safe to even have the kids walk through the mall and having to see advertisement of two men kissing and holding. That is crazy. I can't even, and then even laws were passed of, same-sex bathrooms, thanks to President Obama, who we are so, happy about President Obama, but what does President Obama do for the black community? I love his wife now, but let's talk about the reality of what's going on here. Like, what has he really done for the black community? Think about that. Think. What has he really, really done? And you got people like, Jordan, from out of Texas, who got shot with his brothers. You got little Anaya in Michigan, Detroit, who got shot and killed by police officers kicking in her door, watching the TV with her grandma under President Obama watch. He didn't say anything about that. There's so many cases, and I know he can't save the world, but we so caught up in black faces and power, but we're not understanding it's a game being played on us. They put in white power on a black face. You follow what I'm saying? Not just him. Colin Powell is another one. Condoleezza Rice is another one. Clarence Thomas is another one. And there's so many of them that they make us think that we are advancing when in fact things are remaining the same. Like I said earlier, black people been getting money. You know what I'm saying? Been successful, been smart. Been achieving some success. But generally speaking, the power relationship has always remained the same. Even though we work for IBM or some school IT, some university, we still answer to white supremacy. That's the whole point that I'm saying here. We must become more independent so that we can help and support the educational systems at a very early age. Now, my nonprofit, Courage to Believe, which I started with several other mentors. Shout out to David Miller if he's watching this. Shout out to Kathleen Fave, rest in peace. She passed away 2 years ago, who played a big role in starting our organization. We do have a 501c3. The website is thecouragetobelieve.com. That's thecouragetobelieve.com. You go to my main website, KevinDorival.com. You will see everything I'm talking about. But we started a chess program because we realized that even though we were hosting the Black on Black Crime Solutions panel, right? But we didn't have anything tangible to invest in the community. And so we realized that we had to change the mindsets of the youth. And how do you do that? Teach them how to play chess so they can exercise their brains. Step away from the phones and tablets and computers. Start playing chess. Strategize. Think ahead. Stop thinking emotionally. Stop thinking with your feelings. Start thinking with your mind. And anyway, y'all, I can go on and on and on. I do appreciate everybody tuning in. I do want to raise and mention a couple other books that I didn't say. This book here is The Destruction of Black Civilization. This is a very powerful book by Chancellor Williams. As a matter of fact, my mentor, my spiritual mentor, Dr. Boris Shango, Ashamuka Barrow Shango, said you got to read this book 10 times, 100 times till the pages fall off. That's how powerful this book is. So by him saying that, I had to go get it. So definitely get it. If you don't get any book, even if you don't get any of my books, make sure you get this book right here, The Destruction of Black Civilization. This book will give you the total scope of the African situation, how we got divided and conquered, but also solutions of how we can come back together. So I love this book. This book, Blackamoors by Ayonke. Ayonke. That's how you say his name. Blackamoors. I met him when I was in London last year on my book tour for 7 Types of Queens, King Desires. I was part of the Kings and Queens book tour in London. It was off the chain. I met him at a university. He had a lecture. Just happened to be in the area, in the city. So we had to catch a train and catch up with him. But I got a chance to vibe with him. We exchanged books. So he's in a couple of documentaries. Very knowledgeable brother. I love listening to him speak. They have that London accent, you know what I'm saying? But much love to everybody in London. I love y'all for real. Thanks for showing me love. Because of London, I was forced to move to Atlanta. the kind of love I received in London, I could not stay in Florida anymore because they showed me so much support. I could not stay. You know, I couldn't stay in Florida. My spirit wouldn't let me. So ever since I came back from London, I was working to move here, and now I'm here pursuing my dreams and expand my empire and find my queen. That's why I'm in Atlanta. For the lady who asked me that question earlier on YouTube. This book, Zones of Conflict in Africa. If you ever wondered why certain parts of Africa is the way it is, this is a great book to read. Zones of Conflict in Africa. It talks about the thing that happened in Rwanda with the Houthis and the Tutsis. This book explains that what's going on with Somalia. I mean, this how the system just played us. People like Thomas Sankara from Burkina South. How you say that? Burkina Faso. It's in West Africa. It's a small country in West Africa. But this man turned West Africa around by one. He made sure any foreign businesses who were creating clothes was kicked out the country. They made all their clothes. They made all their clothes because he wanted all the money to circulate within the country. They produced all their food. As a matter of fact, they had more exports than they had imports. You know what I'm saying? So, because they made everything, they circulated everything. So, shout out to Thomas Sankara. I mentioned him in my book, Seven Tactics of Queen's Keen Desire. I definitely want you guys to check me out. Very powerful book. It's actually, this is a 1-year anniversary. So, I have a sale going on. And if you message me, I'm selling these books $16, $28 hardcover. The hardcover's in color. But you can also get the ebook for $9.99. So, go to my website. But the sale is buy one, get the second one half off. That sale's gonna go on until the end of the month. Buy one, get one half off. Okay, so get it for a friend. And if you want to support, donate, you can do that too. I have a PayPal. It's on my website. My email for the PayPal is info@kevindorival.com or kevindorival@gmail.com. This is my first book, Courage to Believe. Definitely check it out. I'm making moves up here in Georgia. I met so many celebrities and people behind the scenes who want to support what I'm doing. So they told me how I can get support and continue to grind and thrive. I thank you all so much for tuning in. I got to get going. A brother hungry, hungry for knowledge, but I'm hungry to see us become more successful. Thanks for putting those books up. If you go to my Instagram at Courage to Believe, you will see that all these books that I mentioned, they're on my Instagram and Facebook, and also the Facebook for this channel. So I definitely apologize to everybody who couldn't tune in due to the fact that technical difficulties. But I had the show must continue, so I continued it. So those who are not technically savvy, they missed it. But thank you all for tuning in. God bless y'all. Have a good one. Be safe. And King Kevin loves y'all. You feel me? And thanks for the love and support. Life is good. Speak the blessings over your life. Speak success over your life. I don't care what it looks like. All right? I don't care what it looks like. I don't care. It may even think in your mind that you're defeated, but you're not defeated. Like, I'm going to leave this by saying this. Like Marcus Garvey once said, if one lacks confidence, they have lost twice. You have twice lost. One who doesn't have confidence, you have twice lost. But one who have confidence, you have already won before you have begun. So everything starts with your confidence. Confidence starts, you get confidence once you become successful. You get one victory after another victory and another victory, and you become successful. That's what it's about. Okay? Once a person who doesn't have confidence is already defeated. But if you have confidence, you have the victory before you even started. Shout out to the Honorable Marcus Garvey. Bless up to the ancestors. Thank you all. Thanks for your support. King Kevin, I'm out. Peace out. Yeah. Bless up. Bless up. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Let me say something here. What is the title? If I could. Let's go. Thanks, Dream. Hey, how you doing, Miss Hayes, fellow author? Woo. All right, we out. Thanks so much, Frank. I do appreciate your help, brother. Really do. Thank you. Blessed up.